For more on Lebanon's economic woes and Prime Minister Hassan Diab's plans to stabilize the country, let's bring in Hamoud Salhi. He is a professor of political science and associate dean of international education at California State University, Dominguez Hills. Hamoud, thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Hassan Diab appointed Prime Minister just weeks ago and already facing calls to step down. What can he do to start restoring faith in the government?
It's a big challenge. The first thing he has is actually to form a government, and that government will be difficult to come because of how the distribution of power is in the Lebanese system. Hassan Diab will have to form a government with portfolios that must get the support or consensus support, meaning that the major blocs in Lebanese politics have to agree to that. The other related thing is that once portfolios are distributed, the minister, thanks to the Taif Agreement of 1989, has tremendous powers in government. And in the budget, in designing, rewarding people they want with the contract. This is exactly what the demonstrators are calling to end. So that's the first challenge. The first challenge is really financial, getting the money. Where is he going to get the money? The Cedars Conference donors that was held months ago was supposed to generate $11.6 billion, but it comes with some conditions. Those conditions call for austerity measures, privatization, and as Saad Hariri has shown, has sort of learned, that is impossible under these conditions. And the third most important thing is that you have a huge gap between in the population. A huge amount of money is distributed in the upper echelon of 1%, and then you have the rest of that. The rest of the populations are sort of living under major problems. So it is a very difficult. It's a job that nobody should take, but Lebanon is in a historical juncture, and let's see how events will unfold.
Hamoud, the current economic woes weren't triggered overnight. You know, you've talked about big inequality. Talk to us about some of the deep-seated issues that got us here.
So the obvious one is the nature of the Lebanese system. The Lebanese system is designed around sectarian lines. Based on 1943 National Charter, or the Charter of Independence. Then that was revised in 1989 under the Taif Principle. But what the Taif Principle brought is try to correct the imbalance among distribution of the sects. Namely, it gave 50% to the Christian, 50% to the Muslims, and it also undermined the responsibility of the president by giving the prime minister some kind of authority, but more so to the cabinet. And there is the first problem. The problem is that ministers today, like the Minister of Health, or a minister of electricity also, have the sole authority, have power as equal to those of the prime minister. And because the minister's distribution of folio is based on sectarianism, a minister who takes hold of a position will likely use a system of patronage to benefit his own sect. So that's one of the problems. And then the problem is the choice of the kind of economic strategies that have been developed over the years. There is heavy emphasis on the state revenues. For example, the electricity that has a major problem in Lebanon is subsidized by the government and to contribute to about 40% of its national debt. That is a huge number to consider. And then, along with that, you have a patronage system, privatization, and all of those that have not spilled to the vast majority of the population. And never mind, this is not a huge population. The Lebanon is a small country, but it has also been under the influence, which is the other factor, of external variables. So, for example, in the depletion of the lira that we've seen today, back in 2005, 2006, the Saudis were able to build the Lebanese economy at the time by putting money in it. Now, there is discussion about the Emiratis doing the same thing now, but again, that may not be the case because of external factors. The plan, the external factors, the goals that are designed here to serve some external forces, perhaps Iran, perhaps the United States, perhaps the Gulf countries, also contribute to another problem that is also in Lebanon. So all in all,
Yes.
it's a complex situation.
Hamoud Salhi, thank you so much for your insight.